YouTube, and welcome back to another edition of Cover 2 Credits. A little more guerrilla style, little on the road, not literally on parked. I wanted to do a review. Well, let me rephrase that. We had both been looking forward to going and seeing a movie because the trailers weren't looking very exciting. Well, it ended up I saw the movie, but Kevin did not get to, so I'm going to do this review real quick solo. I went and saw Ghostbusters. Now, let me preface this. I have no issue with the fact that these were 4 women that were in the parts of the original 4 men. I don't have a problem with that. These women are all funny. They played good parts. My major problem with this movie started with the first actual trailer. They came out and said, the studio came out and said that this was a reboot completely. The original movies did not exist in this universe. I was okay, it's fine. The first thing you see in the first trailer is a black screen with the words saying 30 years ago 4 scientists or 4 men saved Manhattan. My first thought after hearing that is, no, they didn't. If you're saying nothing happened in the original, from the original movie, why would you ever, the first thing in your first actual trailer, why would you focus on the fact that something happened 30 years ago? Because in your universe, no, it didn't. Ever since then, and I don't know if anybody else had really thought, somebody had to have thought of this, obviously, but I never read anything about anybody being upset by that. I personally was upset by that and felt a little dumbfounded. Now, let's get to the movie. This movie is very mediocre, middle of the road. Are there funny parts? Sure. Are there some parts that I was like, we could have done without? It wouldn't have lost anything in the movie to do without them? Yes. And I'll get to a few of those in a moment. I'll get to the spoiler stuff in a moment. The acting was all good except for maybe 1 or 2 characters that I don't think it was the acting. I think the writing was just insane, or it just so they went so far like slapsticky and like over the top that it was just weird. The effects were cool, the ghosts were cool, all the stuff they did with that. I mean, am I going to recommend to see this movie? After it goes out of theaters, sure, go see it. If you're a fan of the original, it's worth it. I'm going to rate it a 5 out of 10. Like, there were a couple parts that were funny. I liked a couple of the things you see in the movie that I'll get to in spoilers, but what bothered me about that trailer bothers me in the movie as well. And I'm not going to get into that until spoiler section, but there were parts that they did not have to do the way they did in the movie that point, again, back at the original movie that doesn't exist in this universe. Like, when I say universe, if you don't follow movies a lot, but like Marvel, okay, all their movies are in the same universe. They all interact with each other. DC, all the movies are in the same universe. They all interact with each other. However, if a movie like this says the originals are not part of this universe, why take the time to put it in your marketing and things in your movie that directly reference the first movie? And that bothered me a lot. And maybe it shouldn't have. Tell me below if you agree or disagree. Okay, now I'm going to cover spoilers. Now, is The issue I had with the trailer and everything else referencing a movie that they stated does not exist in this universe. Now, that's where the problem I have lies in some of the movie. Now, again, spoilers, if you're going to watch this movie, don't want it spoiled, do not continue watching. They went out of their way to put a cameo in for each of the original 4 members. Now, Harold Ramis passed away, I believe, either earlier this year or late last year. So the fact that they kind of gave him a memorial a little bit was fitting. Everybody else, it seemed very heavy-handed, very ham-fisted, the way they did all of the cameos. And what I mean by that is, I have to kind of explain a little. Bill Murray's cameo was that he was a skeptic that was trying to prove them wrong, that there weren't real ghosts. So he asked to see the ghost they caught, and when they let the ghost out, it grabbed him and threw him out the window, and he died. That's it. He's literally in maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the movie. That's it. Dan Aykroyd is a cab driver. And Kristen Wiig sees him and asks him to drive her to Chinatown. He goes, I'm not going that far downtown, or that far down. And she's like, but you're a cab driver. He goes, yeah, I got 3 rules. I don't go to Chinatown, I don't pick up people after midnight, and I ain't afraid no ghosts. And he drives away. Now, the issue that I had, that I've stated, is why make references to the first movie? You're like, well, that's a direct line from the theme song from the first movie, and a kind of a catchphrase people knew from the first movie. And they're having one of the guys that were in the first movie say it. Like, someone wrote that for him. And again, like, how is that not a nod at the original movie that doesn't exist, according to you? Now, the last cameo was for Ray, I believe it was Ray Stantz. I can't think of the actor's name, and I feel terrible about that. I tried, I can't think of the actor's name. However, why did they feel the need to make one of the only African American actors in this movie, in the original movie, have to be related to one of the only African American actresses in this one? They could have had him play something else, but they've made him her uncle, where she got the hearse from, where they made Ecto 1. It just kind of boggles my mind a little that they went as far as to making one of the only African American actors they had in the first related to one of the only African American actors they had in the second. I don't know. And maybe this isn't that big of a deal. I mean, not the race thing, but I mean the fact that they kept pointing at the first movie over and over and over again. Tell me what you guys think, if this is a big issue or not. Should it be? It rubbed me the wrong way because, when people are trying to think of, people were contemplating what was coming next. They're like, oh, there's going to be a sequel. Maybe all 8 of them, well, 7 because of Egon, but Harold Ramis, they're like, maybe they'll all be in the movie together. They're like, well, that doesn't make any sense because the original 4 aren't Ghostbusters in this universe. Yet every chance you get, you went out of your way to point at those 4 guys. And I know it was a nice nod, and I know it was supposed to be a cameo for the fans, but it almost worked against you because you're trying your dangest to distance yourself from the first movie. That's the reason. There we go. That's the reason I had such a problem with the marketing. You've done nothing but try to distance yourself from the original 2. But then everything you're doing, from the 30 years ago 4 Men Save Manhattan to having all 4 guys in your movie, that's a lot of things pointing back at the original 2. Harold Ramis, yes, he's passed away. Giving him that nod was good. I'm never against Bill Murray not being in a movie. Let me rephrase that. I'm never against Bill Murray being in a movie. Anytime he wants to be in a movie, I'm happy with that. Kind of the same with Dan Aykroyd. But if you're going to go as far as the other way as they went with this, it just seemed unnecessary, and I wonder if it's confusing fans, truthfully. But we shall see. I don't know. I have a feeling they'll make a sequel because I think it was fairly successful, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes in the next few years. So again, like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys thought. Let me know if I'm completely wrong with this problem. Like, subscribe, share this, and as always, thanks for staying until after the credits.